realised I didn't actually film an intro to the latest episode of the Range Rover saga. And we've done a lot of work, so I can't go over there and show you. You'll have to just wait and see. We've also got a really, really big announcement, so stick around. You might be able to guess what it is. Oh, maybe not. You might have actually seen that. And if you did, you'll know what's coming. So just sit back, relax, crack a beer and watch this get done. Excuse the noise, Josh is out there playing with a chainsaw. Thought you'd like to all see. There we go. So, that's everything tack welded in. Just want to check that everything lines up and fits. Luckily there's a lot of it's so noisy. There's a lot of adjustment that you can do here on the strikers. So it's pretty straightforward and quite forgiving if it's a millimetre out or so. But yeah, it all seems to line up pretty well. Quite happy with that. Next step is just going to be to weld it all together. So let's get on with that. Well, things have progressed a little bit, as you can see. So the goalposts, they're all done. That's all welded. It's been red oxided and then flatted back. I like using red oxide because it's quite a forgiving primer. It's very thick and leaves a nice finish when it's flatted back. Everything else has all been seam sealed in. It's all been primered and then it's all been wet sanded as well. So I did it, primed it, then it got a 600, then an 800 wet and dry. Obviously everything's in, it's all been seam sealed. I've not gone for perfection before anyone says anything about my seam sealing. It's merely just because it needs to be done properly. And I just want to get this car on the road and done. So everything's been masked up. So all there is to do is to spray it. So let's crack on and get it painted. Please sponsor me, Buzzworld. There we go, guys. Sorry, I've got a mask on because it's still wet and drying. I think we'll agree. That's come out pretty well. And as usual, nice finish. So it's the next day. Everything's dry. Really, really happy with how that's come out. The paintwork is, as always, exceptional with that product. I really would recommend, if you've ever got to do any kind of localised repairs on one of these classic Range Rovers, use that paint from Buzzworld. It's just fantastic. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with the quality of that paintwork. It just pops, it shines, and it's nice and durable. What I'm going to do now is do a couple of little bits and pieces, just put a few bits and pieces back on, and I might start refurbishing the other seat box. I actually bought some more of the correct paint for the seat boxes because the colour that I used last time came out really matte. So I've actually bought some of the stuff from Buzzworld, so we'll probably paint that. Yeah, basically I'll just come back to you when we've done a few bits and we'll talk about it. On second thoughts, the paint's still a little bit tacky. I don't know if you can see, but I just leant on this. It's now got my palm imprinted on it. So we've got the old heater going. Hopefully we'll get a bit more heat in this workshop and it will just set it off. Might leave it for today and just do some work on the Dolomite and come back to this tomorrow, do a bit of a fit up, or I might start the axle, who knows. Okay, so I didn't actually time lapse that. I just didn't have time. It was only about 5 minutes worth of work. So we've put the new shocks and springs in. They went in quite nice. Got new spring plates, new bolts, everything you'd like to see in there. I couldn't find the correct washers, as you can see. So I have ordered new washers and new nuts to go on the top of the shock absorbers. I've also done the other side as well. Just go over here. There we go. As you can see, looks nice. I mean, it is really starting to look like it's been well looked after now, this Range Rover. I've done a little bit of work off camera, but we were doing some work on camera now. So I only had a couple of hours spare the other day. So I stripped the bearings out of the old hubs and then I've masked it all off and wire wheeled it. And then I've just painted it just with this stuff. Just had it lying around, need to use it up. And obviously the flanges have been done as well. And they're wire wheeled back too. So what we need to do is install the new bearings in these. Then we need to install the discs. Then we need to install the stub axles, or whatever you want to call them, flanges. And then put it all together and stick the calipers on. So I'll just stick that now on a video. So that's the remainder of the rear radius arm sleeve that sits over the threads. As you can see, took quite a beating to get that off. Oh, that's not focusing. This is the remainder in here of some of the bushes. As you can see, absolutely toast. That must have taken a good hour to get those all out of there, like so. Excuse me, I've run out of gloves. So we've got this one is all painted up, ready for a new bush to be pressed in. Going over here, this one is all done. So this one's all been painted. And as you can see, it's got a nice new shiny bush in there, which was a complete nightmare to put in as well. We've got new bolts here for all of it, because I actually had to cut one of these bushes, the bolts out, because I just could not turn it. Got a new front bush for it, new calipers. This disc and this hub, this is all complete now pretty much. So that's got on, as you can see, we've got the shocks and the springs on. I forgot to order the gasket that goes around there for the half shaft to slide in. So that's another thing we need to wait for. Under here's been all painted up, ready for the new bush to go in. So what I think we'll do is we're going to install that new bush onto that radius arm, and then we'll start bolting it all together. It's going a little bit easier than the other one, I'll tell you that. Someone to try and tell me this isn't the right way to do it. I don't care. Okay, so it turns out I did actually have those gaskets, as you can see. They're in there. I had ordered those, they were just at the bottom of the box. So we've got calipers on, we've got pads, discs, everything like that. What I'm gonna do today is just chuck it on a time lapse and we will start cracking on with it. I think we'll probably install the fuel lines, we'll install the brake lines, all that sort of stuff really, and just keep cracking on and cracking on. Hopefully put the wheels on, then we'll be able to roll it outside, and then we'll be able to give it a bit of a clean and start sticking the arches, the quarter panels on, and the tailgates, and go from there. We're not far off. We stayed late last night. We got a lot of work done. As you can see, we started replacing some of the brake pipes. So we've got some new brake pipes there. We've got them, as you can see, joined there. Those are to the Imperial Flexis. Then I'm actually making an adapter to go from Imperial to metric calipers. That's purely just because it's easier to get metric calipers if you're on the road than it is if you're trying to get Imperial. As you can see, all new brake lines in there. And walking round to the back, we have got the fuel line is in now. That's all secured and that's run nicely and neatly. And we've got new flexi there going to the strengthening support beams. So we've got both of those there. They were the original ones, just cleaned them up, and they're really nice galvanized panels. So they've just been bolted in. And then we've got this. Now this is going to lead me on to our next subject. This is made by the new sponsor to our channel, actually our first ever sponsor to our channel. Now, this is just one of their products. This is one of their fuel filler necks, and I think we'll agree that looks absolutely fantastic. So let's go over and see Ollie over there. Well, something big has happened on the channel. The Range Rover has been sponsored. So we now have a company sponsoring the build of the Range Rover, and that is Machinor Ltd. A really nice guy who owns a company called Stuart reached out to me, and he really is passionate about Range Rovers, and he really wants to help us out with this build. The the panels that he makes are just second to none. So he makes like the fuel filler neck, the one that's fitted in there, that's made by Machinor Ltd. He makes the infill panels with like the spare wheel well. He makes the number plate holders for the front. He makes everything. The unobtainable stuff that you can't get hold of, he creates, he makes. It's a fantastic company, Machinor Ltd. And I'll tell you what else he makes as well. Two-door boot floor. I know that rhymes and it's been in my head when I've been practicing saying this, but I know that sounds funny. So he makes original spec two-door boot floors, completely out of aluminium. He's created all the tooling himself. Fantastic, an absolutely fantastic product. It really is. If someone told you it was a new old stock item from the 70s, you wouldn't quibble with that, you wouldn't disagree. The quality of it is absolutely perfect. It's nicer than my Range Rover really deserves, but I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to fit something of that quality in there. Now, Stuart's got a lovely website, it's called Machinor Ltd. It lists all the items that he makes, loads of photos, nice little galleries of pictures that he does. If you're interested in anything that Machinor Ltd makes, you can email them here at machinor@yahoo.com, or you can find them on Instagram just there. Now, if you just tell Stuart that Automotive Ollie sent you, he will offer you a discount on multiple purchases. As I say, his products are absolutely fantastic. And these Range Rovers, I mean, they're fetching top money. They always will fetch top money, so they deserve the best parts that you can afford to put into them. And you really, really won't find better than Machinor Ltd. But yeah, give Stuart some love. Maybe just go onto his Instagram, drop a comment, say Automotive Ollie sent you, or just fire him an email. Just have a chat with him, see what he's, see what he's got, see what he can make. But yeah, let's have a little look at this boot floor because I'm absolutely over the moon with this, and I cannot wait to fit it. Look at that! What a beautiful thing that is. It's way too nice for the Range Rover, but I just can't wait to fit it. You can see the quality of that is just, even the finish to it is beautiful. It's, that's just going to be a slot in, put the seals on it, drill some holes, rivet it in. Yeah, what a fantastic product. So yeah, so that is Stuart at Machinor Ltd, just here. Give him a follow on Instagram, go on his website, have a look at his products, and if you want anything, do mention I sent you, and he will offer you a discount on multiple purchases. That is now all of the brake pipes in. So there we go. As you can see, what I've done is, because we're using metric calipers because they're a lot more accessible than the Imperial, we've made adapters. So it's going from, everything is metric, everything here is Imperial, and then this is where it converts to metric. Just makes it a little bit more easier if you're out on the road and you need a caliper. Not that you should, because everything's new. But yeah, you can see all the brake lines. Took quite a while just to make those nice and neat. There you go, all the way through there. And this side's all done. Got the breather hose all cable tied back up. And what we got here, again, brake lines all done. I'm just seeing a cable tie I need to snip. So the next step is going to be to install the quarter panels, I think. And that is where I'm going to leave you today. So thanks for watching, everyone. That's that lovely filler neck that Stuart made, so please go and buy one. He'd really appreciate it, and so would I. Thanks for watching. In the next episode, let's try and finish it.